So if you're entering general journal lines manually, that's something that you can do with or without a balancing account. Let me show you this. So first of all, I will go to the general journal. So by clicking on finance, I can select general journals. And then you will see that Kronos International has set up two different journal batches for the general journal, and I will go for the default batch. Now, the first time that you open the default batch, you might see a number of lines, if you want to clear the default batch, you can post these journal lines, or you can use the select function to delete them. So I already deleted them, as you can see here. And then the second thing I did is collapsing the factbox pane, because at the right side you can see the factbox pane, which can be very interesting because it displays the dimensions used for a specific line, and also if there are any incoming documents, which is also something that I will demonstrate in this lesson, by the way. But to see a bit more fields on the general journal line, I will collapse the factbox pane. There we go. Now, entering a line manually is very easy to do, but the first very important thing that we have to look after for is the posting date, because this will specify when a transaction will be posted. And so, for example, if I would like to post on the last day of January 2020, then I will enter the posting date January 31st, 2020. And there we go. So and now the system will post, of course, on this date. Then there's the document type field. So here you can select a number of different document types. But in most of the cases, not always, but in most of the cases in a general journal, you will leave the document type field blank. That's different for cash receipt or payment journals, for example, that we will see in one of the following modules. There you could or you would select payment or refund. But again, in most of the cases, general journal lines, there we use the document type blank. Then there's a document number, which the system assigns automatically based on the linked number series. And then there's the account type. So here you can see the different types. We can post, of course, to GL accounts, but also to customer, vendor, bank accounts, and so on. So in this case, I will use GL account. Next, I can look up the account number. So you can enter the number, you can enter the name. So for example, if I would like to post to an expense account, I can enter, for example, the first two numbers, like 81, and the system then shows me a number of expense accounts. Okay, suppose a very simple posting, cleaning. There we go. Next, the system will retrieve the posting groups, and that's something, by the way, that you can also switch off. If you go to the batch and you clear the field copy vet set up to journal lines, you will see that then the system will not copy the posting groups from the GL account. Okay, but for my example, this is okay. Then the amount, I will enter 100, and that's very important to realize now. This is an amount including VAT. Because I have copied the posting groups, including the VAT posting groups, the system will consider this as an amount including VAT and will take out the VAT when posting the journal lines and will post the VAT to a separate VAT account, you see. Or in other words, this is with VAT calculation. Okay, second line, so that the expense, I would like to post this to, let's say, the cash account. So I will go to the second line, I will use the same posting date. I will also leave the document type field blank. Then in account number, I will now enter the cash account, 2,910 for Kronos. And I will enter, and that's also very important, minus 100. This is very important, but once that you know the rules, also quite easy. Positive amounts are debit amounts, negative amounts are credit amounts. So I would like to post a debit to the expense account and a credit to the cash account. And that's something I can do like this. Okay, so again, very easy to enter accounts, or sorry, general journal lines manually in this way. But entering exactly the same can also be done in a different way. So I can also enter exactly the same on one line, and that's of course by using the balancing account. So let me demonstrate this. So I will go to the third line, and now, by the way, you see that the system automatically suggests the following number, number 2. And that's because my previous lines are in balance. So when there's a balance between debit and credit, the system will automatically suggest the following number on the next line. But of course, if you would like to stick with number 1, that's something that you can, of course, change very easily. Okay, number 2 is okay for me. So next, I will go to GL account. I will use the same account so that you can compare the 2 examples very well. Okay, the amount can be different. So for example, 300 in this case. And now instead of going to the following line, I will stay on this line. And by scrolling to the right, I can now enter the balancing account number. So when if I use the same account entering 2009-10, you see I have entered exactly the same as the first 2 lines, but everything now on 1 line. And you can see also here now that the total balance is 0. So that's the difference between using the balancing account or not using a balancing account, of course. Okay, so in both ways I can now try to post. If I click on post, the system will ask, do you want to post the journal lines? Yes. And there we go, everything is successfully posted.